a morning. Literally, as I hit play or as I hit record to start this episode of the Average Joe's Sports Gambling Bowl Season, Bowl Mania, Western Kentucky gets a fumble and on the next play goes 70 yards on the ground for the touchdown. They are now leading Appalachian State by 14, 38-24. Maybe 12 minutes left the third quarter. It's fantastic because earlier this morning, if you were following along on the Twitter, our pick was the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. It was a pick 'em. Started at 10 a.m. Central Time, so you might have missed it, but that is okay. Ton of games left throughout this Saturday, and really from now on out with college football. Obviously, COVID is having a little bit of an impact on college basketball, on the NFL, definitely the NHL. And even college basketball, but still a ton of games over the next couple of weeks that should present a lot of fun if we're able to stay safe and keep individuals out of the protocols, all of that stuff. But you are not here to listen to me talk about any of that. You are here to know that I am betting on every single college football game for Bowl Mania, 44 games in total. And right now we are 1-1 Friday night. Coastal Carolina and Northern Illinois had a hell of a ball game, and I actually was able to double up and win on Northern Illinois' spread at plus 11, and I took Coastal Carolina's team total points over 37, which was a nice double hit there. First game of the day yesterday, Toledo was an embarrassment as a whole. Felt like they could have the edge against Middle Tennessee State, but that was not the case. Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raiders came out and dominated. So let's get to today's games. You already know Western Kentucky, pick them against Appalachian State. We are on Western Kentucky, and hopefully they can get us off to a good start and get us a W right out of the gate. Then we've got 5 more games starting with UTEP and Fresno State in the PUPG Mobile New Mexico Bowl, and I'm taking Fresno State. It is minus 11.5. I've seen it at minus 12, and I've even seen it at minus 11. Feel free to buy that point. I just think Fresno State's too good. They're 9-3, really quality. They've got Hainer at quarterback, threw for over 3,800 yards, 32 TDs, and I just don't think UTEP's going to be able to keep up with them. That game is at 1:15 Central Time. Moving on, we've got UAB and BYU at 2:30. This is an interesting game because UAB is a little bit of an upstart program. They're 8-4, and BYU is 10-2. They're ranked 13th, yet the spread is only 6.5. I would have thought that if this game was in the regular season, obviously if it was at BYU, I would have pegged BYU as double-digit favorites. Not that their rankings mean anything, especially this time of the year, but BYU ranked 13th in the country. This is it's the Radiance Technologies Bowl. I'm interested to see if there's anybody in the building. It's in Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm taking BYU minus 6. I played it at minus 6.5 and at minus 7 in a couple of different parlays on different apps as well. Feel really good about BYU taking advantage of a UAB team there. 4:45. This is the one that I know the least about. Okay, we've got Eastern Michigan going up against Liberty, and not that I didn't watch a ton of Liberty. I love Malik Willis, great quarterback, really quality player, and for the lack of a better strategy, I think at this point, betting on good quarterbacks is the way to go. You're seeing it work with Bailey Zapp over here for Western Kentucky, and they're scoring a lot of points as well. It looks like their touchdown did get pulled back, maybe due to some celebration. I can't tell for sure, but they are not up. No, they are up 38-24, so it wasn't called back. So still good news for Western Kentucky. So anyway, Eastern Michigan played a couple of teams close. Felt like they were pretty impressive to start the season. I know they kept it close with Wisconsin. I think they ended up losing by 24-28. I'm just going to take the points here. Liberty's a 9.5-point favorite. Both teams have a 7-5 record. It's in Mobile, Alabama. I'm just going with the best player on the field, which I think is Malik Willis. All right, 2 more games. Utah State, Oregon State. Interesting one here because you got the Pac-12, right? This game's ABC. It is 6:30. Oregon State 7-5 on the season. Utah State 10-3. I think this is kind of Similar to the Northern Illinois Coastal Carolina game, where a lot of the expectations were on Coastal Carolina. I think Oregon State has those same expectations. They're -7, and this is actually the only true dog of the day that I am taking. Utah State is going to be my pick at +7. Think that they are pretty impressive, and I expect them to actually win outright. I'll save that for later as a cold take or a hot take exposed. I don't know, but I'm taking Utah State 10-3 to actually win that game, sprinkle someone on the money line. And then the last game of the night, 8:15 Central Time on ESPN. Depending on what platform you have, you might not be able to watch the game because YouTube TV got rid of ESPN this morning, which is a real pain in the ass. But thank you, because Hulu has live sports, and that's where I will be watching the game tonight. Louisiana 12-1 on the season against Marshall in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. This game is at the Caesars Superdome, and I am shocked that this line is Louisiana -4. Again, not saying that I know everything about Louisiana, nor do I know everything about Marshall, but watching these teams play, I just don't see how this is a 4-point line. I think maybe the bowl game, all of that has to do with it, but this is a darn good Louisiana team. They have one loss on the year at the beginning of the season to Texas. That was Sark's first game, 38-18. It felt a lot closer than that. I remember watching it because I bet on Louisiana at that time. But since then, they have just absolutely rolled, going 11-0, beating Appalachia State twice, beating Arkansas State in a pretty impressive fashion, beating Liberty. I feel good about Louisiana. This is if I had to pick my lock of the day out of this group, Louisiana would be the lock of the day, -4. And I might even put an extra unit or two on that, depending on how the initial set of 6 games go. Now, really quick, that's a freaking speed racer run through of all of the 6 games. And so I just want to go back one more time and call out each of the picks. We've got Western Kentucky already going on, Fresno State, BYU, Liberty, Utah State, and Louisiana. That is who we are rolling with. Now, outside of college football, there's a ton of other action. You got great college basketball games. I've got Gonzaga and Texas Tech on the screen right now. I do have Texas Tech +9 in that one. Going to be interesting to see if the Red Raiders can hang close. They're losing 12-6 right now in Gonzaga. Kind of a powerhouse, but they've only played one game since they lost to Alabama, and so I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of rust there and have Texas Tech at least stay within that 10-point margin. Another game that I'm on tonight, Cleveland Cavaliers -3 against the Bucks. Evan Mobley is in the COVID-19 protocols. But right now at this point, who isn't in the protocols? The Cavs are a freaking wagon, and any chance I can bet on the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm going to do it at this point. Same thing with the Memphis Grizzlies. I think it's fantastic. And then lastly, we are still gifted with Saturday night NFL football. I am on the New England Patriots +2.5 against the Indianapolis Colts. I know it's a road game. I know it's a big matchup for Mac Jones as a rookie quarterback. Saturday night football, prime time, all the things, a true road test. But frankly, I'm not betting on Carson Wentz against Bill Belichick. So you could slice it anyway if you want to take the Colts. I'm not betting against Bill Belichick, and I'm not betting on Carson Wentz in primetime. I'm not going to lose money that way. So, busy day of sports. And not to mention, just a shout out to all the Huskers. It is a volleyball school tonight, 6:30 ESPN2. The Huskers are going to take on Wisconsin in the Women's National Volleyball Championship. I'm pretty stoked about that. We'll definitely be having that on one of the screens, and I expect the Huskers to win that pretty dominant fashion all year. John Cook is the best coach right now in college sports outside of maybe Nick Saban and Tom Izzo, whatever it is. John Cook is up there, bar none, and I'm excited to see the Huskers win at something and maybe not break all of Nebraska's hearts like we do in basketball and football and pretty much everything else. So that's signing off for today. Alec McChesney, Average Joe's Sports Gambling. Make some money.